the fourth episode of Nerds on Nerdy Stuff, the video podcast with me, Josh.
And I'm Ben.
And we're going to get right into the meat of it today. Pacific Rim 2 has hit a snag. Apparently, it's been put on an indefinite hold.
Right. Even though Guillermo del Toro is still pretty optimistic about pushing through another script, they're kind of just sitting on it for now.
Yeah, the studio is a bit more lackadaisical about it because the first Pacific Rim 2, while it catered to a lot of nerds and fanboys like ourselves and possibly you, it didn't turn out a whole lot of profit. It only made, I don't want to give a rough number, but it did not make more than $100 million profit. Yeah, it should have made a lot more money with how much money they spent on it.
Right.
And so the second movie is going to require a larger budget because Guillermo del Toro is notorious for always upping the ante in his sequels, which is good, which is what you want. But the studio just doesn't have like a viable financial reason to do it because the first movie didn't make that much money.
Right. And when this news dropped, I was kind of secretly hoping we would see something come up. It was on the heels of the King Kong, Godzilla, all that stuff from last week.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping maybe they'll throw them. They'll put it on different holds so they could work it into the.
Because it's been loosely confirmed that King Kong and Godzilla are going to exist in the same universe.
Right.
Because the government agency or corporation, whatever it was, that monitored the kaiju eggs or whatever, the other creatures, was called Monarch. And I guess it's been leaked that there's going to be a reference to that same organization in the King Kong reboot / sequel, whatever it's going to be. So we know essentially for a fact that they're going to exist in the same universe.
Kind of tied together. And it'd be awesome just to see some big Jaegers fighting.
Yeah, because what would make a great movie better would be giant robots fighting as well.
Right.
Because it's owned by the same company, Legendary, and Warner Brothers is a parent company of that. So it'd be relatively easy to write it all together.
Possibly.
But anyway, Pacific Rim 2 for sure has been put on a hold. We'll see if that pans out in the future.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got Doctor Strange news.
Yeah, they've cast another Oscar caliber actress on top of Tilda Swinton. It's going to be Rachel McAdams, as rumored, not confirmed from Marvel or anybody else. It's just been speculated that she's going to play Clea.
Yeah, the love interest of Doctor Strange. And
the niece of Dormammu, who's been speculated that Mads Mikkelsen is going to be playing.
And he's the big bad for the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, it's all rumored too because Chiwetel Ejiofor, another Oscar caliber actor, is playing Baron Mordo, which has been said is going to be like a mashup of a few characters from the comics.
Okay.
But I don't think they would wash out Dormammu because he's such a pillar character to Doctor Strange. It's like his Brainiac, his Lex Luthor, his Joker, his Dormammu. Like he's always the guy that's causing problems for him.
Right. And that could be pretty. I mean, that's got to be. Dormammu's got to be the main bad guy, and if it is Clea, it just makes.
It makes story sense for her to fold right in too.
Right.
Because you want to have a love interest as well, because Marvel movies have to cater to a lot of people, not just the comic fanboys, and sometimes it takes a bit of romantic stuff to draw in ladies. Like it's not misogynistic. I'm just saying it's
the nerds are going to bring in their fictional girlfriends.
Yeah, they're going to bring in their laptops with their online girlfriends the entire time to watch the movie together.
Their big Skype anime pillows.
Yeah, they're going to bring their anime body pillows to the movie. But speaking of more casting news too,
then we got Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson is going to be joining the cast of the next Planet of the Apes sequel.
Right.
The studio hasn't come out and said directly what the name is going to be. They've had a couple of different things, where one has said it's the War of the Planet of the Apes, and the other one is the War for the Planet of the Apes. But either way, it's going to be just fine.
Either way, it's a war and there's apes and it's on a planet. And it's going to be cool.
Yeah, and Woody Harrelson is going to be playing the villain referenced as the Colonel so far. So we're not sure if he's going to have any actual military background, like directly like being a general or a colonel.
Just at least a military hard-on for.
Yeah, he might just be some random dude that
killing apes.
Yeah, wants to call himself the Colonel because he's the last militaristic mind he thinks left for humanity or some garbage. But either way, Woody Harrelson is just knocking it out of the park lately with all these roles he's got. Even in the Hunger Games, which the movie itself isn't that great, but Woody Harrelson's like...
He's pretty cool in it.
Yeah.
He's watchable in that, and I liked him in... he was in Rampart fairly recently. That was pretty dark, pretty cool movie. True Detective, I mean, that was huge. That was awesome. That first season was so great, and he produced this last season. Of
He
that,
played
but-
the villain in Out of the Furnace too. That movie with Casey Affleck.
Oh yeah, that was good.
He was
too.
really good as a villain in that.
Yeah.
But he's also really good at comedic roles too, with like Zombieland, and
Right.
you're always going to typecast him for the white man can't jump kind of thing. But
Yeah.
dude, he's just everyone always like not looks down on him, but doesn't take him as seriously as they should.
Yeah.
He's just a phenomenal actor, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But moving on to even more bad news, this is going to be kind of our feature this week too. Me and Ben kind of came to the consensus that the new Gambit movie is kind of up against it.
It's gonna suck.
It's probably going to suck. It might. It's already kind of reeking of the X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And this week's news is only another puzzle piece in that whole mess. It's Rupert Wyatt, the director, dropping out, and it's said that it was scheduling conflict. But
And it makes sense too because they pushed the start date for shooting like 3 months back, which is a long time for a director because you're probably already getting into the time frame for
right,
your next project, maybe your next 2 or 3 projects for Pete's sake.
that's just the newest bullet in the list of why this movie is going to be a piece
Yeah,
of shit.
and Rupert Wyatt. The reason why it's a bad news situation for Rupert Wyatt leaving is because he's been a phenomenal director too.
Yeah.
He directed the first Planet of the Apes reboot, but that's one reason why Gambit might suck because we don't know who the hell Fox is going to pull in for their new director.
And there's no way they're going to bring in Bryan Singer or Matthew Vaughn. For
Yeah,
that.
they're too big of names. They'd have to like change up their schedules too.
Right. They're already plenty busy.
Yeah, and they already have a Fox kind of as of late at least with the whole Fantastic Four debacle. They don't have the best track record with treating their directors with respect.
Right. No.
Because Josh Trank, at least he stated that they stepped in and changed things at the last minute that like completely altered his vision of the movie.
One of the tweets that he sent out right as the movie was released, there's no way they're going to bring him
Yeah, they
back
wouldn't
into
bring
a
him back
big
anyways.
franchise film right away.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make him sit and wait.
Yeah,
He's
so
gonna
like
be benched
that's
for
a
a
big
while.
question mark too, is who they're going to have for the director, and it's supposed to start shooting really soon. Like I said early.
Well, it's due. It's slated to be released October 2016.
Sorry, yeah,
and
I meant to say released in October.
that's
Yeah,
that's just over a year out.
Yeah.
They haven't started shooting
They
it.
haven't
They don't have
started
a director.
yeah. There's
Uh,
so much
it's-
post probably to do in that movie too.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. to
Yeah,
it.
but aside from that, Channing Tatum, while he's getting better, he's not that great of an actor yet.
He needs a strong director.
Yeah, he
For
has to
him
have
to be a
some.
good
Yeah.
actor. He had a strong director with Foxcatcher. I heard a lot of good things about him. I still haven't seen that movie, but I hear so many good things about Foxcatcher.
Yeah, and he's talking to Darren Aronofsky now too about doing a Evil Knievel
Oh yeah, I heard something about
biopic,
that.
and
He'd be cool for that.
because they're trying to find a project they can work together on, but he needs a solid, good director to
Right.
be a good actor. He has the like the raw talent, but
And comedic chops. He could be funny, but
he needs to be pointed into the right direction.
Gambit's not hilarious, man. It's not.
Yeah,
they
that
just-
brings us to our third point. Gambit only really works as part of an ensemble cast. Like,
Yeah.
think about even the X-Men '92 cartoon show. What single episode or like
There's not
story
a,
arc?
There's not an episode focused around him solely
because
that I
he's-
can think of.
Yeah, 'cause-
If there was one, it wasn't memorable.
yeah, it wasn't memorable.
But that guy is just all he is a
He's a charmer. He's charismatic. He's a rogue.
well, he's a rogue love interest, and that's about it.
Yeah, and like he's interesting, but not interesting enough to carry a 2-hour movie by himself. That's the thing too. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do a Gambit movie, you're gonna have to fold in so many other X-Men too.
And even in the comics, he hasn't been written very well.
Yeah, the last
nothing strong.
yeah, the last restart for him, like comic wise, while like the first couple issues were good, the story just got dry for me personally. It's just
Yeah.
a personal thing. It's all our opinion, but like it just got boring because he's just a thief who can happen to kinetically charge objects and huck them really hard at people, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's not enough for a 2-hour movie unless you fold in some grander scheme
Right.
with the X-Men universe spinning out of X-Men Apocalypse or whatever.
Right. And after with this movie following up Apocalypse, there's no way.
Yeah,
It's-
expectations are going to be high.
There's no way it's going to be able to work. I mean, so we saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, and this is essentially their second X-Men Origins movie.
We
It's-
think.
I mean, it's
we
not,
don't know. Yeah, we don't know what the actual plot's going to be
It's
yet.
essentially going to be the same kind of thing. There's the one-off focus on a sole character, and it's not going to work as a follow-up to Apocalypse. And
No,
we
gonna-
only saw Gambit so far in X-Men Origins
Origins, yeah.
Wolverine.
I think Taylor Kitsch got a
And
bad rap in that movie too.
It could have been a strong character. He wasn't a bad Gambit, but that wasn't a good movie. And that movie had a $160 million budget. this Gambit has
Yeah, for some reason they're allotting
$154
$154 million for this movie too, which
there's no way they're going to make that money back at a reasonable rate. Like
yeah. And there's always the chance that we could be wrong, but everything right now is saying it's not going to happen.
Right.
And speaking more on the $154 million budget and why they don't need that much, the new Deadpool movie, which looks tremendous, is made on shoestrings, essentially. Like, it's not... I couldn't find the source for it online, but it's said to be around $33 million for a budget. That thing looks solid.
Every article I've read is low-budget superhero movie, and that's pretty good. I mean, if it's $30 million, that's a low budget. They're going to make that back, which it's going to be harder for them to make it back since it's a rated R superhero movie. But it's got the fan base.
That's like opening weekend. It's going to make that $30 million, probably $50 million at least.
I would hope $50 million.
That'd be a really big opening, but still, that's the wrong season for like a big opening. But still.
But this Gambit movie has been troubled for a while. Like even earlier this summer, there's rumors.
Yeah, there's a rumor floating around. Yeah,
Channing Tatum dropping out. That's your lead character. I mean, that's only a rumor, and that never panned out. But if that rumor's floating around that your lead actor is dropping out, that doesn't bode well for the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a myriad of different things like pointing to this movie being either a bomb or just outright not happening.
I'm gonna say no. Gambit's gonna suck. It's gonna be garbage. It's gonna be your X3, your any of the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be a shit show at the very least.
Garbage.
Yeah.
So, Gambit, you throw stuff.
Yeah, I tap into the energy of an object and I turn it into kinetic energy.
And then you throw it.
Yeah, I throw it. I throw it really hard.
Yes. I'm just going to keep it then as throws stuff, which is what I had. Gambit, my question then is, what happens if you run out of stuff?
But there's always stuff to throw.
There's always stuff.
Yeah, and I got my playing cards.
Right, you. Great to have you on the team.
That was tough because, this is a new deck and they're all...
A little slick.
So it's good to work them in a little bit, throw them a bunch.
Yeah, I understand. What if you run out of cards?
But, Professor, it doesn't have to be the playing card. It can be any type of...
Oh, you could throw a business card?
Yeah.
You could do maybe an Uno?
Yeah, Uno's easy.
Could you throw a Magic the Gathering card?
It's quite fitting.
Baseball?
Sure, any sport.
What about a greeting card?
Yeah, it's a little thick, but, I can...
No, you could, cool.
Yeah.
No, f***ing no. Without cards, you're garbage.
I can throw other things,
I'm still going to see it just because I got to give it the benefit of the doubt.
I'm still going to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to actively give them any more money than I have to.
It's a comic book movie. I'm going to see it, but I'm not going to be happy through it.
But in closing, Gambit is looking like a big pile of garbage at the moment, at least. It's going to have some long odds to mitigate these issues it has.
Yeah. So on this pile of shit, we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, on this pile of shit, we're going to go dip out. Thanks for checking in. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
See ya.
His name? Kurt Thomas. His title, 3-time world gymnastics champion. His assignment, a secret mission for the United States government. His only weapon, himself. And that's all he needs. Combine the discipline, the timing, and the power of gymnastics with the explosive force of karate. And a new, all-powerful martial art is born. Gymkata. Kurt Thomas becomes Jonathan Cabot. He must penetrate a mountain fortress to compete in an ancient savage ritual. They call it the game. But nobody wins. And nobody lives. Until now. When gymnastics and karate are fused, the combustion becomes an explosion. And a new kind of martial arts superhero is born. Gymkata.